What's up, everyone? It's Dogman. Today I'm going to kind of tell you about this Marvel Rivals cheating scandal that's been happening in the esports scene. And I just want to kind of touch my bases in case this does happen to get more eyes than I expect. Basically, there's a Marvel Rivals competitive scene. There's an esports scene in the video game Marvel Rivals. Okay, I just kind of said the same thing multiple times. But the reason why this sort of matters is because this is a $3 million circuit. Meaning that there is a tournament in North America, a tournament in EMEA, a tournament in the APAC region, whatever. All of that stuff, the overall prize pool is $3 million. So a lot of money on the line for this. And basically somebody was allegedly cheating recently in one of the qualifier tournaments. It was a qualifier tournament that took place over the course of a few days. But to even get to the qualifier tournament, you needed to compete in MRC, which is the main circuit to compete in if you want to be your average Joe competing against anybody. That's how you get in. It's open qualifiers. It's all fair game. Anybody can play. But it turns out that it's kind of hard to keep track of all of those players competing for competitive integrity reasons. I just want to start off this video by saying I don't blame the developers sometimes for cheats getting through and stuff because just based on how anti-cheat works, the fact that you're kind of always working behind and the cheaters are always kind of ahead of the curve and you have to adapt to them, it makes sense. And I think it's totally fine to, understand that is a bit of a problem. And it's just maybe something that we just kind of have to work on and fix over the course of the next year or whatever. I totally think that, NetEase and Marvel Rivals can learn from this and probably start to ban people like this. Because basically this was a tournament with 16 teams in the qualifiers, and these guys, got through via qualifying for or getting top 4 in MRC. And then in this tournament, the team Jolly Jesters, the team that won the relegation tournament, so they are now in Ignite with an alleged cheater, just won. So they just won Ignite, or the relegation tournament. They're now qualified for Ignite for Stage 2, which will have an even bigger prize pool because that will be the grand finals, which will have a prize pool about $1 million. So that's going to be a lot of money on the line. And that alleged cheater's name, is Gomikaze. And he's been around for a bit. That's the interesting part, is that this guy's had multiple accounts banned. The pro player Hogs even made like a bit of a Google Docs that we'll be kind of going through today a little bit. I don't really want to bore you guys with the whole Google Doc situation because it's a long thing. If you want to read it yourself, I'll link it in the description. But it's trying to show the evidence that you can show in Marvel Rivals that Gomikaze is cheating, and that the people he's been playing with have been playing with him for a while. Also, just based on what I kind of know and what I've seen from these guys, they've probably been playing with alleged cheaters for even longer. So that's kind of the gist of things. And let me kind of recollect my thoughts here because I tried to organize everything. It's late. I'm like, do I even really want to talk about this? Because my background is that I talk about the game for a living. I commentate over the esports scene, kind of like a sports commentator would over, baseball, or I guess there's League of Legends commentators. You guys probably know if you're watching this video, but in case your mom or sister or somebody's watching, make sure to give them my number first of all. But then second of all, that's kind of how things work. Okay, that's just kind of how the gist is with this sort of scene. I just care more so about the competitive integrity. That's kind of why I'm making this video. It's because I want this to be a known thing that we can, I think, understand that it's hard to, as a collective unit, dissect whether somebody is cheating or not. And we'll go over examples today. But I think in Marvel Rivals in particular, it's very hard to prove if somebody is cheating, primarily because they can come back clean based on whatever the admins are doing in the behind the scenes with PC checking. Either that's something's going wrong there and they're able to circumvent that, or we're just not getting in depth enough with the admins currently with checking the computers, or maybe cheaters have a better way to hide and disguise things. Back in the day, I remember there was a Counter-Strike player who had a file just named something stupid like nothacks.exe or something like that. I mean, I think it was notepad.exe. It was a Counter-Strike tournament, right? Maybe some of the comments can let me know that exact situation, but people have gotten more advanced, I guess, and even kids have gotten more advanced because usually that's the people that do cheat. They're very underdevelopmentally people that maybe don't understand what they're doing is wrong, or whatever, that is very immature, maybe, or whatever. Like, I can understand maybe that perspective of doing it. There's also like a lot of people in like a Discord server that will try to defend them because they're cheaters that are like all grouped together and support each other and stuff. And they'll make bots or whatever, reply to Twitter accounts, because usually people aren't going to, like, normal people are not going to defend cheaters, right? It's always going to be them on like an alt account or whatever, or something like that, kind of like Kevin Durant. When he was trash talking his own teammates on the Houston Rockets, maybe a bit of a different angle, but yeah. So in my opinion, Gomacazi is basically cheating with trigger bots and wall hacks. I think the trigger bot is a little bit more obvious. Wall hacks are harder to prove in this game. The only way I could call out wall hacks is like watching, like just like specifically watching back the whole game. I think Triggerbot obviously makes it sort of like, it negates the advantage of wall hack a little bit because you're already getting the benefit of just being ready to go at all times, basically. Just if your mouse happens to go over them, you're going to shoot them. That's kind of how Triggerbots work. But yeah, I think he's probably Triggerbotting and wall hacking, and I'll show some evidence over it. But I think the main thing that I want to talk about is this has been going on for a long time, right? And every single time, I think it's been kind of hard for me to prove if somebody's cheating. It's also not my job, to be honest. I'm just here to have competitive scenes that are very interesting to watch from that perspective. And I feel like if somebody's really, really good, either they're cheating or they're going to be a pro. And that's kind of a compliment almost, like if you are being called a cheater, you take that as a compliment. If you're getting defensive and if you're, sort of rage baiting people, and if you're like sort of doing like weird stuff, to me, that speaks as like a little bit of like trying to deflect, and maybe like you're just being a little bit, weird psychologically, in my opinion. So yeah, it's been happening for a long time, basically. And let me show you guys something for this clip and why it's kind of hard to dissect whether or not somebody's cheating. This is a cheater in Overwatch, and then this is going to be a cheater in Marvel Rivals. Okay, so we'll go over, or this is going to be Gomacazi's POV. Maybe I should show you guys something a little bit more obvious, which is Magic Bullet. But if you look at like an Overwatch situation like this, if we show you guys this, where it's like a McCree POV for like a few seconds. Let me go back. Sorry, I had it too far forward. But like, it's pretty obvious, right? To me, that looks like somebody is obviously cheating. And I think it's way easier to prove in first-person games. I don't know if Fortnite people have this problem, but maybe it's more difficult to prove cheats in Fortnite as well. Only because, like, if you look at this POV, which is a Gomacazi POV, instead of the Magic Bullet, because I think this is a little bit more fair. This is going to be Gomacazi's POV playing Black Widow versus a professional team. A long time ago. The teams were flipped, basically. But I feel like if you watched this back as a normal person, like we are right now, it's going to be very hard to tell whether this guy's cheating. Okay? Unless you watch it back multiple times. And I realized that as well when I watched back my old footage of like there was a cheater named Infamy that I watched about a year ago. This guy was probably cheating, or gal was probably cheating back in the day with British Tree, as you can see over here, actually, conveniently, the guy that is with the cheater now. Alleged cheater, sorry. Like, this is very hard to prove. At the time, basically what I was trying to say in this video was that this guy is cheating with projectile aim hacks. And because on Psylocke, it's a projectile character. So if you have aim hacks, your crosshair is going to be ahead of the person. It's going to predict where they're going towards, or where their model is headed towards, and it will automatically aim there for you where your projectile will follow up on. And that's what I was basically trying to prove back then. The point is that it's very hard to prove that somebody is cheating. The only evidence that I can really think of is like if somebody, and this is still even like very hard to prove, it's just, it's to me, it looks like they are too ready to go, basically. Like they're almost like, if there's someone like right around a corner, they're not only pre-aiming, or they could be pre-aiming, but also as soon as they beat that corner, they're going to shoot that person. Like, it's like, okay, that's pretty weird. Like, and you only get that evidence after watching an entire match of their POV, which nobody has time for, okay? except me, because I goddamn watch this game too much, and I don't know. I mean, I sometimes have go crazy. Sometimes I've accused people of cheating that I in hindsight probably weren't, but that's only happened maybe once out of the 10 times I've done it. And realistically, I try to only do it if I feel like I have enough evidence. In general, I feel like most people should also treat it that way, and I imagine they do. I'd like to think they do. And that's the problem with Gomikaze's POV, is that they just look a little bit too clean. All right, they're just like, it's always ready, not missing shots. And if you watch back an entire video of their POV, it's just going to be suspect. It's just going to be a little bit too weird. Never losing a 1v1. I think the main one when we watch this back, for example, is going to be the shot over the box in the back right. Also, I feel like a lot of the times, if you were to watch like a professional player and compare it to this person's POV, they look like they're solid at the game, but their mouse movements, that kind of stuff, doesn't look like a really good player. And they're usually doing some like very floaty type aim, which doesn't look like a real kind of aimer in what they would do. Marvel Rivals, I think it's a bit harder too, like I said, because people aim like maybe that in general, regardless in this game, because you benefit from playing kind of slowly a little bit. But people are very fast. A lot of the characters are incredibly mobile. It's hard to hit all these shots super consistently. So even doing something like this, where he just like quickly, slowly flicks to like that Venom headshot in the top right through something else, is a little suspect. And then just perfectly tracking that Daredevil. But then the main one was the jump shot onto her after seeing through a wall, the Emma Frost. So, I mean, and that's what the new Ultimate, the rework for Black Widow. Just a little bit too suspect, in my opinion. And I think that's just kind of the case with Gomikaze generally. It just looks to me like somebody who's solid at the game, but also as they show back in 0.25 speed, this might be easier for, I think, you guys to tell. And I've watched the footage back a few times, so I kind of got the gist. That was the one I was talking about earlier. It's just a little too consistent, and I think it's very hard to tell. That's like I said, the main point of making this video. But this has been going on for years, right? And the moral of the story is I'm kind of just sick of it. Like, I feel like I'm just tired, and I don't like. I stopped caring for a bit about it because I feel like I was looked at like I was crazy every time I would call somebody a cheater in this game. Because this has happened before in MRC tournaments with this guy with like a magic bullet example. Like this guy is not even like aiming at the targets. Like it's this. Ignore the name, guys. Okay, don't look at that name. Susan Foot Fetish. Okay, don't look at that name. But basically, there's cheats like Magic Bullet. There's trigger bots and stuff. Like, on top of that, the replay client can be kind of weird and suspect sometimes. And yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of sick of it, dude. Like, I'm kind of sick of it. Like, I was going to go into the history of, like, certain cheaters and stuff because I've been watching MRCs and MRI qualifiers and all that sort of shit for, like, years. And every time these cheaters try to come back at me and, like, are, like, trying to dig up dirt in my past or something like that or whatever to try to undermine what I would say and kind of out these people for cheating because they are a lot of the times they are. And I'm just tired, dude. I'm just tired. And I'm tired of people that defend them and play with them, right? So, because this has been ruining people's careers, basically, that are trying to actually compete Ignite without cheating, without doing this sort of tomfoolery. It's been going on forever. I specifically remember in one of these qualifiers, there's that player named Rayquaza who was allegedly cheating, and there was a Brazilian team. There's never been a Brazilian team that's qualified for Ignite, not even close. And the one time they did get close, they lost to an alleged cheater and were out of the tournament, and there was no rebuttal. They also don't know anybody because they speak Portuguese and they're not really ingrained with the North American community. I just felt so bad for people like that are actually putting the time in and are actually trying to compete for those spots fairly, right? In this case, there was the team called Foxhound that just missed out on making the tournament under Team Vengeful, I believe, what they were called basically now. But they lost to Jolly Jesters in the upper bracket finals. If I could show you guys this. They lost in the upper bracket, the Jolly Jesters, and then down here lost to Dreamland 3-0, making sure they wouldn't qualify because, like I said, there's only 2 spots in North America to qualify for Ignite due to the fact that a lot of the top-tier teams that weren't signed rosters did not fall out of the playoffs. There was a rule where basically 50%, if you were below the 50% threshold of teams in Ignite, you would be relegated. And that happened to Team Nightmare. That happened to Team Equinox, which, by the way, this other one was Equinox Gaming. Jolly Jesters was apparently playing under Equinox's gaming academy roster, and then I guess parted ways with them temporarily. That's a whole nother thing. Basically, the Equinox Gaming organization, which is a very small one, is trying to defend their player, which I can understand that. It's guilty until proven, or sorry, innocent until proven guilty. But also, I understand wanting to defend your guys. But I just feel really bad for Team Vengeful because of the fact that probably Gomikaze is cheating, right? Like I mentioned, either he is cheating or he's the best player in the world, and it's not even close, and this guy needs to be an assigned roster immediately and to play on LAN. Because most of the time, these alleged cheaters will leave forever, right? And they basically got job done qualifying their teammates into Ignite, right? So, for example, on Jolly Jester's roster, it sucks because I've liked the 762 guy. I've seen him before in the scene. I want to respect him, Ares and Zap Destro, Ben JD, British Tree. I want to respect those guys a lot, but they don't help their case when they keep playing with cheaters. Okay, like for example, if I pull up this, you can see that in the Google Docs they mention how sorry, I'm brain farting a little bit. Gomikaze was known as other usernames before. They went under a few different usernames, basically, IBC Brat or whatever, and then Despair. And this, if you notice, Ben JD and British Tree for some of it is here for all of those games. Okay, like it's like, come on, man. We keep playing with this guy that's probably cheating, and there's so many people accusing him of cheating, and if you watch back the POV, he looks pretty suspect. Their excuse was, I think I read an excuse by one of the players that was like, oh, he's too bad to cheat. That was the excuse. My brother in Christ, that is the point of cheating. You are too bad to compete professionally, so you have to cheat. Might be the worst excuse I've ever heard. That's crazy. That's genuinely insane. But on top of that sort of evidence, like I showed you here, when I showed you back this person that I thought was cheating called Infamy back then, they were on the team with British Tree and Ben JD. So literally a year ago, in a couple months, British Tree. Let me pull up the actual thing that I'm trying to show you guys over here. Jobless Bums qualified for Ignite, beating Team Alani Wind. And at the time, I felt pretty bad for Chenzo. This is Goma is not Gomikaze. That was a different Goma. You can't see it. Let me move this over. Sorry. Apologies for that one, boys and girls. Team Alani Wind didn't qualify for Ignite back in Stage 1 last year. And it was because Jobless Bums played with an alleged cheater named Infamy. And in my opinion, they were cheating. I felt like it was hard to prove because of the projectile aim hacks and also third person and the wall hacks and all that kind of stuff. This is why I'm just sick and tired of doing it, because it's just like you have to pull up the evidence and you have to actually go through it and watch all of the videos. And then even then you just get met with, they're not cheating, they're legit. And then they can't play in the tournament because if we go to Stage 1, they had to play with a sub because Jobless Bums and specifically Infamy said they were on vacation and couldn't play in the tournament. So they literally tournament dodged last second with Ben JD and British Tree. So they had to play with like a sub, and they got absolutely smoked because they were a bad team without their cheater. I don't know if that's much harder to say. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is there's two things. Okay, first of all, I think the spot should probably go to Team Foxhound, who got third place, lost to this squad earlier in the tournament, and I just think it's fair. I think that's fair. They looked like probably the third best team besides the cheater team, and we should probably give them the spot. I don't know what NetEase is going to do. I mean, that's what I suggest, and I suggested to them. But who knows if time will tell if that will be the case. I think they deserve it. To me, all of the players on Team Foxhound are legit, and I feel like if you played with a cheater on your team, you should not be able to play in Ignite. That's the punishment, in my opinion, because I mean, it sucks because maybe you didn't know. Maybe you really were assuming that he was legit and whatever. Well, let's give you the benefit of the doubt. I still think it's pretty scummy to give you the spot if you play with the cheater. I think it's only fair that you sit out this one, you go back, you requalify. Maybe people thought you were good on this team and ignoring the cheater and they could pick you up for a roster slot in Ignite. But to be honest, there's not enough spots to warrant even having the slightest bit of cheese in this situation, because I've just seen too many teams not qualify for Ignite because they played against an alleged cheater. Because usually there's I see at least 2 cheaters every tournament, it feels like. Some of them are on very bad teams and don't end up making it very far, and then some, are on the best team and then just qualify. So I'm just sick and tired of it, dude, straight up. So I think give the spot to them, and also I just think it's very embarrassing. The second part I wanted to talk about, I think it's incredibly embarrassing to be people like these guys, like Ben JD and British Tree, who have played with cheaters in the past, back on Jobless Bun a year ago, alleged cheaters a year ago. Those people that were going to be the best players of all time in the game's in the game's history conveniently fell off the face of the earth because, oh no, they just, I don't know, gave up or something. That's such a bad excuse, especially if, you're a bright up-and-coming star. We want to foster that, right? There's people like Energy who are now on Team Liquid Citadel, who is one of the best players in the world, very young guy. That was a gamer, and we love that kind of shit. It's awesome to see. But it's not awesome to see these people that are oh, maybe this guy's the best player in the world, or he's cheating. I want to see him play on LAN, and then they never do. They never do because they're cheating. Okay, let's just be honest. They're cheating, and they have a Discord server with all of them that try to defend each other online. So it's just kind of weird. It's very weird. It's like the equivalent of going to Reddit and arguing with bots. So if any of them tried to bait you guys in the comment section or on Twitter, just know it's probably them. It's probably their fanboys or one of their teammates using alt accounts or using their regular account to try to defend it. Just ignore them. Just ignore them, dude. But yeah, I think it's incredibly embarrassing to Ben JD, who is, I think, retiring after this, and British Tree, who have been doing this for years. That's just so embarrassing, dude. That's just crazy, crazy sad that the only way you qualify for these tournaments is to play with an alleged cheater. Get a life, dude. That's insane. That's genuinely impressive. I know that's rich coming from me, somebody who just talks about video games for a living. But still, come on, man. Stop it. Get some help, okay? Get some help. I feel like the reason, maybe to give some more backing, and I feel like I shouldn't have to do this, I'm sorry, but I don't feel like I'm just some random saying people are cheating. I feel like I have some credibility here. Sometimes I'm wrong. I thought one of the pros, SJW, I thought he was cheating for a bit due to just having crazy game sense. Turns out he's not. Turns out he was legit. So I would love to be proven wrong, and I'd love to see these people on LAN. But usually they never get to that point because a lot of the top teams don't give a shit because they don't see them ever. But a lot of these guys that are grinding in the tier 2 scene lose their spots, and that's the point. Let's get Team Foxhound qualified for Ignite, or at least have some sort of fair solution to get rid of Jolly Jesters, because I'm just sick and tired of saying cheaters. Okay, sick and tired of saying cheaters. That is about it. Like I said, the whole thing, TLDR. If you want to skip to this part, there was alleged cheater Super Goma. Whatever I forgot their name already. Not Super Goma. That was a pro player. Gomakazi. And they got a team qualified for Ignite, which is a $3 million tournament, potentially for $1 million at the end of the year. And I want them out of the tournament because they are probably cheating. Okay, you can look back at the document. You can look at the evidence and dissect it yourself. I'll link it down below. I'm not going to go through every damn clip because that would just be pointless, I feel like, unless you guys really want me to. We're going to probably post another video in the upcoming week that is more lighthearted, and we're going to talk about Ignite coming up because there's a mid-season in LA. So if you haven't got a ticket for that, make sure to get a ticket. I'll see you guys in Los Angeles if you guys are going to the LAN, okay? Because that's going to be freaking lit. I'll be casting with my boy Iron Shib. It's going to be a ton of fun. And like I said, I don't blame the developers in this situation. Obviously, I want a better anti-cheat. But I really don't blame them for having a bad anti-cheat because a lot of the time, this is a very casual game, Marvel Rivals is. I bet some of you guys maybe didn't even know. There's a Marvel Rivals esports and competitive scene. That's awesome and is sick to watch, and it's probably understandable that they're more focused on the casual scene and stuff and ignores things like this. So, like I said, really not trying to blame the developers, but I would love if we investigate these guys a little bit further. And yeah, I mean, obviously I still like casting. I don't want to freaking lose my job. Like, I enjoy casting for Marvel Rivals, but I'm personally just sick of being told, oh, this person came back clean, we checked their PC, and they're just competing again another week when they're probably cheating. Like, it's like they're either we're not doing enough in one department or whatever. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. I think I've kind of talked about everything. Stop cheating, dude. If you cheat in video games and you're a kid and like a casual lobby spin botting or something, you get banned. That's like a fine one-off experience. I get it. Okay, I get it. I get cheating and giving up on it. Like, I would love it if you guys did that. Like, if you cheat right now and you think you're good enough to play without cheats, then try. I would love to see you try genuinely. I'll make it a challenge for you guys because maybe you're, I don't know, one of these people that just love challenges or whatever. I'd like to see you try without cheats. All right, I want to see what you do without the wall hacks, without the trigger bot, okay? Because if you're good enough, you should be able to do it without it, okay? And the fact that you get these people qualified into Ignite that have no right to be there is depressing, very depressing. So I bet you're not good enough to do it, you know? Reverse psychology and shit. I'll catch you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Yeah, I hope this video doesn't get views because, I don't know. I mean, I want it to be known, but also, like, I make a lot of other videos that aren't Marvel Rivals related, although I do heavily enjoy the Marvel Rivals esports scene. I've been invested since day one, literally like 3 years ago, back in the beta. So we've been around for a while, all right? All right. Catch you guys later and have a good one. And I'll probably stream some Bird game on Twitch or Marvel Rivals in the upcoming week or whatever. You can watch that if you want to. Follow me on Twitter, social medias. I don't know. I post videos on my main channel, Dogman Dustin. I talk about video games in a very weird, cringe fashion. And I got nothing else to talk about, dude. I'm tired as shit. It's like 1 a.m. All right. Peace, boys.